Thwip Reject Nation. Only like a month and a half or a little bit more than that till Spider-Man No Way Home comes out. So you best be on the lookout for so much coming in. Spider-Man No Way Home, Green Goblin, Maguire and Garfield, Costume Scorpion, and plot leaks. Guys, I've been hearing so much about trailer 2. All right, I'm going to give you guys my personal update. I'm talking with a couple of sources. You know how sometimes we're on top of stuff? It's because I have one or two sources. I know I was saying earlier that's probably going to come after Eternals, the weekend end, but I actually think trailer number 2 is probably most likely gonna come the week when Ghostbusters comes out, which makes the most sense to me now because that is a Sony Pictures production. We want to get more people in the theaters, probably go check out that trailer, especially if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are there. Whoever's watching Ghostbusters will see that trailer and be like, I gotta go watch this in the theaters. Either way, it's coming out this month. I'd be very surprised if trailer number 2 came out in December. It's coming out this month.
14th.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and I hope you're ready for a heavy Halloween as we have a ton of new looks and plot details for Spider-Man No Way Home. Yesterday the internet was hit up with a lot of leaks that even J. Jonah Jameson would have been proud of, and we have some first looks at the Green Goblin costume, confirmation of what Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be wearing, some plot leaks debunked, and a big spoiler look. We're going to be breaking it all down, but obviously there will be heavy spoilers here, so if you're one of the 3 people that haven't had the movie ruined by the internet, then you better get out of here at breakneck speed like Gwen Stacy. Okay, so on Friday, there were several leaks of the costumes we're about to talk about floating around in DMs. I was too busy chatting to hot babes online all day to see them, and that's what I'm telling Marvel if Kevin Feige comes a-knocking. In addition to me definitely not seeing them, descriptions of the suits were posted on subreddit Marvel Studios Spoilers.
We heard about the
next
descriptions.
Day, Twitter user Ember on Main said that they'd sent in the images to the subreddit, but as they hadn't been given credit, they wanted to make him regret it, so decided to post them all over the internet. YouTube is a place where you can DMCA someone in a second and have their whole channel removed if you want to without even asking for rent. So I'm not going to be able to show all of the images in this video, but they are out there if you want to look. However, what we do have is someone who has knocked up concept art of what they look like, and I think that should be fine to go over as it's not being created by Sony. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the 3 Spider-Man suits. We've known for a while that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire would be reprising their versions of Peter Parker in the movie, but we didn't know whether this would be in brand new costumes or not. However, we can confirm that Tobey will be wearing his suit from the Raimi trilogy, with Garfield wearing his one from the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Damn, those are the actual costumes there?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Oh, snap. That's
a shot of wardrobe.
Straight out of the actual movie. Oh my god.
That's insane.
It's exactly what was described.
The owner of this phone has been murdered, surely, by now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, exactly as described. God. It's all 3 suits. It's crazy.
I love this so much. I love this so much. It's all right there. Hell yeah, that's what I like to see.
Now, one costume that has changed up slightly is the Green Goblin outfit. As I said, we will be using fan mock-ups, but they're pretty much what was shown in the images.
Okay.
The costume is highly battle damaged, and it also comes with belts and pouches that are full of the Goblin's tricks and weapons. First thing you're probably going to notice is that the Green Goblin doesn't have a mask, and instead he has some goggles that look a lot like Dr. Octopus's from Spider-Man 2. I have seen a lot of people saying that they're gonna add the mask, but from what I've heard, this is how the Goblin is gonna look. Now why that is because the movie is basically gonna be pulling the villains out of the multiverse the second before they died. As the Goblin wasn't masked and in a battle damaged costume, this is the version that's gonna be brought into the MCU. You can even see that the Goblin costume looks very similar to how it was when he got stabbed in the dick. You guys going to be pulled across just after he got stabbed in the dick, yo. Now, from what I've heard, when he comes into the MCU, he will take Octopus's goggles and then wear them. A big criticism that people had for the Raimi costume was that you basically paid for Willem Dafoe, who has a very iconic face, and then covered it up with a big green Power Rangers helmet. Marvel is wanting to lean into Dafoe's most notable features, and this is why this time around he won't be wearing the mask.
All these years, I've never even had that thought of like, why would you cover up? He's the Green Goblin. He has a mask.
Yeah.
Green Goblins usually has a mask. Usually he can have a mask too that allows his face to move. Sure. I don't know. It never bothered me.
No, and I mean, from my experience watching it growing up, I could always see his mouth and eyes underneath it. So like Willem Dafoe's rack of teeth and all that was still a part of the character to me. So I feel like I still got some of his unique traits coming through the mask. But yeah, I was never bothered by it.
Especially within the context of the story, you're not supposed to know it's Norman Osborn, or the public's not supposed to know it's Norman Osborn.
Yeah, if he's just out
So
there
he
with
should
his
be masked
face.
up.
Yeah, if he painted himself green or something, it's still like, oh, is that you?
But I do like the idea of pulling him straight out here. It makes it feel a little bit more personal, like this is a real vendetta for him. Where that personal, like, I need to, fight Spider-Man didn't come until way late into the movie. If you're going to kick off, like, thrusting Willem Dafoe into this, automatically lends some type of subconscious personal association to the fact of he's just letting himself be exposed.
Now I think the costume looks absolutely incredible, and Aaron S. Bailey did a brilliant mock-up of the leaked scene we'd heard about when Goblin goes to the villains that have been captured in Stranger's Sanctorum prison. Going beyond that, from what I've heard on the film, Osborn will land in the MCU, and he'll be sort of torn between his two personalities. He will then wear a blanket in order to make himself look homeless, and he'll go to Aunt May's feast operation
Just
and
like in
lay
the
low
fire.
there. After Peter captures the other villains and locks
okay.
them
I
up,
didn't
he'll
know
bump
that.
into him at Feast, and this'll be where he tries to convince him to free them.
Actually, all the links you heard, have we heard that yet?
I don't think so. There's not Norman Osborn showing up at Feast.
That's a smart way to do it. And I think that's actually really great, too. They'll be bringing over the fact that he has the conflicting personalities within himself. That's actually a trait that I sometimes forget about when flashing to that movie because of the movie's finale and how it all ends. It creates just a much more fascinating dichotomy for what he has to go through when this character's already thrusted into this like larger-than-life multiverse scenario. Perhaps it could lend itself to this opportunity of but maybe this could be a chance for a second opportunity, or maybe this could be a chance for a second opportunity to dominate,
Yeah, absolutely. Which personality will ultimately win.
Yeah.
Hope we get a good mirror scene for this movie.
Oh, you better bring the mirror scenes back.
Now if you've been watching our other plot leak videos, then you'll know we've talked about a big death in the film. I'm not going to drop that here as I think it is quite a big spoiler, and I'd have to give another spoiler warning, which I really can't be bothered with. However, apparently the scene of the building on fire from the trailer is this moment, and after Peter attempts to stop Goblin, he goes to this person's house and blows it up with them inside. It's pretty shocking, and it mirrors a big thing that also happened in the Raimi films.
Right. Oh. Oh, it just got pieced together. All right, guys, you better click off the video because I'm going to talk about what Paul doesn't want to talk about. We already heard about it in a video last week.
Yeah.
A big rumor circulating is that Aunt May is going to die. When you think about Spider-Man 1, when he attacks Rosemary Harris, when she's like praying and then the devil shows up, that would be a cool scene that reflects that. Except he actually goes through with that and actually kills her. Wow.
That would be, oh my God. Yeah, let's talk about like your different timeline threads and your like rhyming. It almost reminds me of what was that George Lucas talking about, like rhyming plot themes and stuff like that.
The
and
poetry it rhymes line?
Yeah.
You couldn't, you weren't 100% confident?
Poetry doesn't have to rhyme, all right? It doesn't always have to rhyme.
Was it George Lucas who taught? Really?
Did George Lucas invent poetry?
Making it like poetry.
Surprised you questioned that.
I just got to be sure. We're mixing fandoms today. We just did Star Wars. Now we're in Spider-Man. I got to make sure. But that would be super awesome, except it would be also heartbreaking.
I feel like if they killed her off, they'd find a way to bring her back.
Oh, yeah.
Probably by the end of the movie.
She'll show up in a post-credit scene as Madam Web.
It was debunked that the Rhino will be in the movie. This is something that we reported on for a while, and then I heard the opposite to it, and started putting my theories out for who the final Sinister Six villain would be, but everyone called me a moron because, as we all knew, it was definitely Rhino. I kind of feel like I should have just went with my gut and said what I thought instead of being like, well, all these people must be the ones who are right. And I feel like I'm going to have to make another I was wrong video because apparently he's not in the movie. Throughout the week, we got a lot of new clips that were labeled as being leaks from the second trailer, but they've now been debunked as being alternate takes that come from the first one.
Exactly.
This included a scene in which Peter had just stopped a criminal, and he then had green paint thrown over his suit. Shoutouts to Cosmic Wonder, who earlier in the week released this as a scoop, and he said that this is how Peter actually ends up getting his black costume. The scene actually starred Tom Holland's brother as the bank robber, and then Peter strung him up, which is when he had the paint thrown over him. He can't wash this out, and he ends up turning the suit inside out, which is how he gets the black one, which is basically just the red and black one reversed. There was also a moment which Spider-Man swung through the city, and he was grabbed by Doctor Strange's cloak, with it sitting around his shoulders like how it was in What If. This then pulled him back, and apparently it leads into the moment from the first look, in which Strange then knocks Peter out of his body so that he can take the cube back. There were also some alternate takes of things like Strange chasing Peter through New York, and a couple of additional shots of the ladder being thrown against a wall. However, we have to stress that this is not the second trailer, and it's just alternate scenes from the first one that ultimately didn't end up getting used.
I saw that footage that was going around online. I would never react to a leaked, like a leaked trailer. I saw that footage going around, and yeah, you can't be fooled into thinking that's a second trailer. That is clearly a alternate first take. It's like a few seconds that are different. You know how disappointing of a second trailer that would be. Ooh, we got a couple of new shots.
Ooh, this shot went on 2 seconds longer. Crazy.
But the structure and beats of it are it's pretty much the same thing, just a couple of moments are swiped out with something else.
Still just like, where do you get access to that?
Yeah, I know, right?
As for the trailer itself, I don't think it's going to come until at least the middle of November at the earliest. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so make sure you drop them below and let me know.
I think you did a great job, Paul. I'm happy we're best friends. I don't know why you don't let me call you my best friend. I tried. You got Warren very jealous. John could care less, but I've been trying to coin you as my best friend. You keep calling me an acquaintance. You guys can subscribe to John's YouTube channel, John and the Humphreys. Check it out. It's him and his family performing songs from the 50s. It's a great band. John's on bass.
Maybe start actually doing that.
Sounds charming. See you guys.